Tell us a little bit more about what's taking place in Arizona.
There's a bill, and it's been passed through committee at this point.
Whoop.
So
okay, every once in a while you scream. Yeah, everyone.
Get really too much more about it than what I already talked about on my Examiner column. But essentially, what they're saying is that you can have an Alaska-style and a Vermont-style concealed carry that's already been demonstrated to work fine. I think people will agree that Alaska and Vermont are not known as the mass murder capitals of the Republic, and they have a situation there where if you want to carry concealed, the basic requirement is that you're a peaceable person and you're not otherwise prohibited. Now, Alaska has a two-tiered system. You can get a concealed carry permit in Alaska, and the purpose behind that, aside from going through further training than just to carry, is that it will allow you to engage in reciprocity with other states that recognize it, so that your CCW would be recognized and good there, and vice versa. But otherwise, if you're just staying within the borders in either Alaska or Vermont, and you want to carry it concealed, that's essentially treated as your business.
All right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and we had Mr. Pierce on last week, but if I'm not mistaken, almost all of the states have some bill going around now concerning open carry. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm not sure that that it was bills that are going around so much as there are quite a few states that are silent on the issue. Is my understanding that because there is no law prohibiting it, there is no need for legislation to authorize it. That was my understanding of the conversation that John led last week. He's actually a better source to go to than that, because he and Mike Stolenwerk both stay very much on top of that issue, being as they are the co-founders of the OpenCarry.org movement.
Okay, all right. Then before I let you go, though, give us an inside tip. What's your next blog going to be about?
You know, I don't know. I was looking at a so-called smart gun that's been developed that has come out, and it's tremendously expensive. I don't quote me, but I think it's like 10 grand. And smart guns is something that I've been writing about for some time. I think that they're just ridiculous inventions. And what I would go on with that is, who in your audience right now has ever had the experience where you pointed your remote control at the television and had nothing happen? So that may be what I look into. I may be further exploring this East Palo Alto situation. What I basically do is I start each morning with a clean slate, and I go through the news headlines, and I see what inspires me, what I think that the readers would be interested in hearing, what I can tie in and maybe make a unique observation or comment on, and get some discussion going. That's what my real turn on with doing all this is. And I like the challenge of not going into things rigidly and saying, you know what, I'm going to follow these footsteps today. I like kind of being surprised and saying, you know what, I've got a dozen different headlines to choose. Let me play and have some fun, because if you're not having fun doing it, you're quickly going to burn out. So. Yeah. That's what I'm going to write about tomorrow. Who knows?
Okay. Well, I know there's a lot of issues. You and I both get up in the morning and we read the positive and the negative from newspapers around the world, and that's where we get our information from in most cases, or go through the blogs, which I enjoy doing, because those people are concentrating on a particular issue that you and I are involved with. So there's a lot of research that goes into that, and I know that there's a lot of folks out there that wonder where you come up with your material, and simply put, you come up with your material the same way the rest of us do in the news agencies. We research what's going on around the world, and anyone that pops up that actually needs some elaboration, hey, that's how we make our living, right?
Well, I do have an advantage, and I have probably the best reader base anyone could ever ask for. And so I never am without news tips coming in from other people who think that something is relevant and ought to be called to the attention. And of course, my problem is I can't possibly address everything that's given to me.
Yeah, right.
But I find it wonderful to be able to engage with a population of readers and activists who are, themselves leaders in things, and to be able to associate with those people and think that they think enough to send me a tip and to follow what's going on. I'm really pleased and honored with that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We feel the same way that when we receive the emails as well, David. So folks, if you're not looking at davidcodrea.com, you need to be. I'll put another overlay up here soon. He has a great column that he writes and put some information out there that you can't get anywhere else. And he has a great attitude. Now, David, I know you want to get out there and practice a little of that downhill, so I'm going to let you I'm going to let you go, and I'll see you again next week.
I'm actually going to be shoveling the driveway for the second time today, but tell people I'm skiing. Thanks, James.
See you next week.
See you.